Hi, welcome to At Home. I'm Kevin Barthel. Now, storage always seems to be an issue, whether you live in the smallest studio apartment or a big house with a full basement. But today, I'm going to tackle this problem head on. We are blessed to be allowed to shoot this show in Sean's beautiful home. But he has a half-basement space that isn't being used to its full potential. So let's head on down there and check it out. This space started as just a bare-bones room. First, we put up a plastic vapor barrier and then some drywall before starting this project. The first thing I need to do is measure the space. The width of the space is 104.5 inches. The depth of the space is 70.5 inches. And the height of our space is 67 inches. I'm going to be building the support for these shelves out of 2x4s.
Now back in the old days, 2x4s used to be
Actually 2 inches by 4 inches, but today they're 1.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So my back wall is 104.5 inches. My side shelves, I'm going to make 6 feet long. Which means this has to be 70.5 inches. Now you may say, hey, 6 feet is 72 inches, but I have to take into account the 1.5 inches of this 2x4, so 70.5 plus 1.5 inches makes 72 inches. Now this front support here, I'm not actually going to measure it. I'm going to measure it once these pieces are all in place, so this is a nice, tight, snug fit. But these pieces along here are 4 feet long. 2 feet plus 4 feet makes 6 feet. Now my supports in between here are going to be 21 inches long because I have 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, which makes 3 inches, subtracted from 24 equals 21. So for my first measurement is going to be 21 inches. Bring this over to the saw. I have all my 2x4 pieces cut, so now I can start assembling them. I have my long piece for the back wall, and I have my cross supports. The first thing I want to do, though, before I attach this to the back wall, is put these together onto this piece. It's going to make for a stronger shelf if I can attach them straight through the 2x4 instead of toenailing them in. If I can go straight in this way, it adds a lot of strength. Now my 3 pieces I've measured. This is 30 inches from here, 30 inches to the next one, and then the last one is at 8 feet. Now this piece at my 8-foot length, I'm going to move it so that the 2x4 is halfway between the 8-foot mark and the next inch, because I can only get pieces of plywood that are 8 feet long. So I'm going to have to make a little piece in here of plywood that will fill in this hole, and I want to have the plywood share the support of this 2x4 instead of having to put 2 pieces in. And just for your information, I'm using 3-inch wood construction screws for this project. The pieces are ready to be attached to the wall. Now there are two things you want to remember about your shelves. The first, you want them to be level. So I've measured down from the ceiling and I've used a level to draw a line across. The second thing is you want to screw your supports into a stud. And I'm going to use the same 3-inch screws and I'm going to screw right into a stud. Now I know where my studs are because of the drywall screws and they went into a stud already. All right, all of our hard work is almost done. We have all of our supports attached to the wall, and now we can place the plywood on the top to make our shelves. I'm using 1/2-inch sanded plywood, which means one side is sanded a little smoother than the other. And at the hardware store, I had the 4-foot piece ripped down the middle into 2 feet. And luckily, our first pieces are 8 feet long. Our first shelves are put in 8 foot by 2 feet. Our second shelves are 4 feet by 2 feet. Simple enough, an 8-foot piece of plywood, cut it right down the middle. The last piece to our shelf top is this little corner piece. I'm just going to pop this into the corner and then we're going to secure all the pieces down with a couple of 1.5-inch screws. All of the plywood pieces have been secured into place. Now, these last 4 pieces of wood are vital to the strength and the stability of our shelves. Being anchored to the wall provides a lot of strength, but once the shelves start to get loaded with stuff, they need more support out front. A few hours' work, some blood, some sweat, but no tears. This once unused space is now ready to be filled up, and this will hopefully improve Sean's storage needs. So thanks for joining me at home, and we'll see you next time. Okay, I need a real Band-Aid. If you have any suggestions, comments, project ideas, or even photos of your own projects you'd like to share, please feel free to visit the At Home Facebook page. I'd love to hear from you.